We're going deep on a story that really rocked the world of football. I know that iconic image of Spain winning the Women's World Cup. Pure joy, right?
Yeah.
Confetti everywhere.
Yeah.
And then, boom, overshadowed by a kiss. A kiss that honestly sparked, well, global outrage. It became this huge debate about respect, power, the whole, culture of Spanish football. So we're going to break down what happened using excerpts from some breaking news reports. And hopefully we'll figure out, how this one event became this massive catalyst for change.
I think it's super important to remember the context here. This all happened during the Women's World Cup, a global event. And the Cup, it's not just about athleticism. It's about the fight for equality in women's sports. But this year, It became even bigger. This tournament, it really sparked a ton of conversations about, societal issues that went way beyond the pitch.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We've got Spain. They've just defeated England. Emotions are running high. You can practically feel the energy, just reading these news reports. What was it like, the atmosphere? Just before, the incident.
Pure euphoria. You have to imagine, right? All those years of work, dedication, everything culminating in this moment. The Spanish team, they achieved their dream on the world stage.
And then?
In the middle of it all, Luis Rubiales, the president of the Royal Spanish Football Federation, he kisses Jenni Hermoso right there on the lips during the medal ceremony. Millions of people are watching.
Yeah, I was watching too. I remember just being stunned. It was instantly controversial. Lots of people were saying, this is it. This is proof of the sexism in Spanish football. Was it, though? Was this just a one-off incident, or were there, deeper problems that led to this happening?
It's not the first time we've seen these power dynamics, right? Especially in sports. In a lot of countries, actually, women's football has always been, less important, less funded, less valued compared to the men's game.
And in Spain.
Definitely. And this whole thing, this incident, it brought all that tension to the surface. It was like a Me Too movement exploding in the world of Spanish football, people demanding change, accountability.
Yeah, and then the whole legal battle that just poured gasoline on the fire.
Totally. The charges against Rubiales were serious stuff. Sexual assault and coercion. The prosecution even wanted jail time.
Can you explain that? What does coercion actually mean in this situation? For those of us who aren't lawyers,
Sure. In this case, coercion means that Rubiales, he used his power, his position, to pressure Hermoso. He wanted her to say the kiss was consensual. Basically, he was trying to control the story, protect himself. And it's a tactic, unfortunately, that we've seen a lot in these abusive power cases.
So the high court, they found Rubiales guilty of sexual assault, but not coercion. That's kind of interesting, right? What do you think that means?
It's complicated. On one hand, the court clearly said this was sexual assault because Hermoso didn't consent. But on the other hand, by not finding him guilty of coercion, they're basically saying, we don't have enough proof that he pressured her to change her story.
It's almost like they recognized that there was this power imbalance, but they couldn't, prove the more subtle stuff. The coercion part?
Exactly. And this brings up a really tough question. How do we define and prove coercion when there's such a clear power difference? It's a problem all over the world, not just in Spain, especially with the whole Me Too movement, right?
Oh, yeah. The Me Too connection here is undeniable.
Absolutely. You have Hermoso speaking out against this incredibly powerful person. It's like a textbook Me Too story. And what's really important is that she wasn't alone. Her teammates, players from all over the world, they all supported her. It was this collective voice amplifying her message.
Didn't the Spanish government, the Football Federation, didn't they try to defend Rubiales at first?
Yeah, they did. And there was a huge backlash. People were furious because it seemed like they were ignoring Hermoso, protecting Rubiales. And that just made the protests even bigger.
That really shows the deeply ingrained stuff, the attitudes and biases that women in football and just women in general still have to deal with.
It does. And it makes you wonder, how much progress have we really made? This case, it forced a reckoning, not just in Spanish football, but in society.
So now what? What happens next? What kind of lasting impact do you think will this whole thing have on, football and, the world?
The court's decision, that's a huge statement. It says, we will not tolerate sexual assault, even in pro sports. It sets a precedent. Hopefully, it encourages other victims to come forward.
So it's a landmark case. Could change how these things are handled in the future.
I think so, but real change, that's not just about courts and laws. It's about attitudes, behaviors. We need to, dismantle these power structures that allow this abuse to happen.
Powerful stuff. This whole thing, it started with a kiss, but it's revealed so much more about the challenges women face in sports and society. But there's hope, right? You see Hermoso's courage, the way everyone rallied around her. It makes me hopeful for a future where respect and equality actually mean something.
I agree. This is a story that's not over yet. It has the potential to change things in a big way. The fight for gender equality in sports, the whole idea of consent and respect, that conversation is happening right now, and we all need to be a part of it.
And that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.